guys, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be replacing the stock chain and sprockets on the 2018 Husqvarna FE 350. It's got about 136 hours on it and 3,100 miles, a little bit over that. The chain's starting to get a little bit sloppy and the rear sprocket's starting to get a little ninja star-like, so I went ahead and ordered a new chain, new sprockets front and rear, and new chain guide and the plastic sliders as well. So we're gonna throw those on the bike, and that's what today's video is gonna be about, so let's get right into it. Alright, so we're going to leave the rear tire and all that stuff on the bike right now because it's going to be easier for us to push this master link off of the chain. And then once we get the master link off and the chain off, then we'll go ahead and take off the rear tire and worry about changing that sprocket before we move on to the front sprocket as well. Alright, so I got this handy dandy chain tool here that we're gonna pop on there. So this part's gonna take a bit because we have to slowly push each side out little by little. Alright, so that link's off. We're just gonna continue pushing the master link through, and then the chain will be broken free and we'll take it off. Alright, so we just got the master link loose, and now we'll just put the bike into neutral and slide the chain right off. Old chain's off. Now it's time to pull the rear wheel off, and we'll change that rear sprocket. Alright, so I got 2 pieces of wood down here to keep the disc off of the ground. And then we're going to go ahead and take out these bolts here and get this rear sprocket off and get the new one on. I already loosened up these bolts here, and we're just going to finish getting them all the way off before we pop off the rear sprocket here. Alright, there we go. We got the rear sprocket off. Now it's time to put on the new one. Apparently these new bolts here are actually stronger than the factory ones, so that is a little bit of a bonus. So we'll just get this lined up and we'll get these on here and shored up, and then we will torque them to spec. They already come Loctited as well, which is great. We'll torque these down to 25.8 foot-pounds. That's tight. So we'll just make our way around and tighten these bad boys up. Okay, so I went and I marked the bolts with some silver Sharpie just to see if they move any after the first ride. Not the most ideal kind of thing to use. I'd rather use some like bright paint or something like that, but I don't have a paint pen or anything like that, so this will have to do. It'll let me know at least if any of the bolts are moving after the first ride. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take off the old chain guide, and we're going to put on this fancy schmancy Cherby's one on. It's got a cool little opening down here that will allow you to put it on and fit the chain through with it connected, so that's nice. Get rid of this old crusty one here. Alright, so now we got to get the front sprocket off, and the manual says that's actually one of the first things you do, but I didn't read the manual before I started this today, and I already have the chain apart and the rear wheel off, so you can't really use the rear brakes like it says you should in the manual to hold the rear tire still, to have the chain be pulling on the sprocket so it's not rotating while you're trying to break it loose. But there's another method where we can take the chain, and I just strung it over the top of the sprocket here, and then we're going to take a screwdriver and we'll basically pin the chain up around the axle on here, and that's just going to hold the chain tight and in place, and then we'll be able to break that front sprocket loose. Perfect. Sweet. You'll want to save these little brackets here for the new one, at least if you order from a Cherby's, because it doesn't come with it. Alright, quick detour. Margansky got a flat tire on the front. He's just a little ways out of town. We're gonna go pick him up real quick, and then we'll get back to our regular scheduled programming. Alright, here he is. We just came up on him. How you doing?
Yeah, good. I was like,
you still need a...
on a moped, going down Cascadia Lakes Highway, just couldn't go more than 25 miles an hour. And I was like, people are honking and shit, and I was like, yeah, just doing my thing.
Mopeds go like 40 though, so that's a little bit worse.
Just gotta get into the zone of the wobble.
Yeah. Do you want to go up here a little bit and we'll load it up? You don't keep a tube on you?
No, I have a tube on.
Oh, forgot your pump. All right, let's get this baby off of here. All right, Margansky's safe. I'm gonna take a quick break and eat some dinner, and then we're gonna get back to it.
A few moments later.
All right, we're back in the garage. Let's get back into it. So where we left off is we just got the sprocket off. So now we're gonna put that on, and we just put on the new slide here. And then we've got this one last slide to change, and then we'll put on the rear tire and the new chain. Now we'll put the front sprocket on in the raised side in the instance of the primary drive sprocket, and maybe other sprockets as well, goes towards the inside. Like so. Alright, sprocket is ready. Nice shiny new chain slides on there. Top, bottom. Chain guide is on there. We have the rear wheel mounted now. So we're gonna go ahead and loosen up these things so we can have some room for play, and we're gonna string this new chain on there. Alright, make sure you grease that master link up real nice. Alright, now we're gonna have to press that master link and this on there, and we're gonna have to try and get on the clip. The master link is on and installed. I don't think that'll focus that close. But yeah, that was actually pretty easy. Just used a combination of those clamps and some socket bits to press the master link in there, and it worked pretty good. Can thread it in. Now I'll break out the torque wrench and set it to 44 pounds. And I'm stepping on the brake on the other side of the bike. There's 44. All right, the new chain and sprockets are all on. Now it's time to clean up this disaster zone we got going on here.